And welcome everybody to Co-op Guild. This is Steve. I'm here with a video of a buyer's guide for Deep Rock Galactic. So this is intended to kind of walk through all the content that's out there. I have all the content that's been released so far, but there's a Kickstarter that's currently live with new content. I have not played the new stuff, so full disclaimer, I'll be taking my best guess as to what I expect from those as we talk through everything. But yeah, hopefully this will be a way to help you navigate through the space that is Deep Rock Galactic, because there's a lot of content out there for this game, and hoping to help you make a smart buying decision, whatever that decision has happened to be for you. But let's say hi to a bunch of people here. I see Greg is here. Hey Greg, Raphael, Chris. Let's see, Elaine, how's it going? Yeah, Raphael, I've never played this game, video game or board game. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know anything about Deep Rock for the most. I was aware it was a video game. And then I saw the board game come up, and I was fortunate enough to reach out and demo the board game. We loved the board game. Absolutely loved it. We played it, I think for the week we had it, we played it twice a day, every day. Like my son and I. We just loved the thing to death. So obviously easy buy. Since we love the board game so much, wanted to check out the video game. Now I like the video game, so I do play both. But it's funny because I got into it from the board game space rather than video game space, which is probably opposite most people have. But let's see, Matt's here. How's it going, Matt? Yeah, Matt's like, I'm not sure why I'm here. Never buy any Deep Rock Galactic, but then you had to defeat the boss, so it made sense why you came here. So hey, Kim, how's it going? Okay, yeah, and then Greg has a good point here. If you like a dice chucker, a little more than that, it's not complex, which I agree. It's not a complex game. It has more variety than complexity, I would say. And it's just a really fun game. It's a really fun one. So it is. So Deep Rock Galactic is one of those games that kind of fills that same niche as something like Cthulhu Death May Die or Zombicide or something like that, or Marvel Zombies, any of those types of games where you have a dude, you run on the board, fighting bad guys, checking dice, just a good fun time. That's the style of game it is. It's a lot of fun. This has become my go-to for that style of game. I can get into details why if you guys are curious, but like I said, this is live chat. I'm watching the comments. So if you guys have any questions about the game, or hey, what would you recommend here and there, I'll do my best to answer those questions, because that's what it's here for. So let us start digging deep to Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, full disclaimer. I purchased all this game myself. I have not received any review copies for this one. So I'm not getting review copies for the Kickstarter. And also full disclaimer, I backed everything. So I'm all in on this game. I absolutely love it. But I'm hoping to help you guys figure out what works for you. So Cthulhu Death May Die is unassailable. It's a very good game. Cthulhu Death May Die is an excellent game. I do enjoy that one. I'm just not a big horror fan, and I don't know, something about Deep Rock. I like that one quite a bit, but it's a great game. I will never turn down a game of Death May Die. Hey Sean, I really enjoyed digging new tunnels to give yourself new options in the game. That's really cool. Yeah, I agree, Sean. That is the one unique thing about it. So let's dive into it, since we're having this discussion already. So. I am having trouble with what I'm doing here. There we go. Let's start this phone. Okay. So let's not start there. Let's start, since you talked about the core game, let's jump to that. So this here is Deep Rock Galactic. And so why is I couldn't get my pen working today. I don't know why. Let's see if I can do this manually. Okay, but here is Deep Rock Galactic. It is a game where you're running around a cave trying to gather resources. Very basically like that. And you are playing as dwarves, miners, and each dwarf, there's 4 different classes: an engineer, a scout, a driller, and a gunner. And they all play very different. It is very cooperative in that each one specializes in something different, and they can help each other out, which is really, really nice. But at the core of it, you are moving through the cave, trying to gather resources, while fighting these alien insects that are there. Are you the bad guys? Probably. You're attacking the wildlife there. It's fine. It's fine. But the corporation you're working for is, they don't really care about you. You know, they get the resources, they'll leave you there. You're not that important. You're expendable. So that's the kind of premise. It's kind of a fun tongue-in-cheek approach to that style. And so what's unique about this one is as you move around the board, that Sean called out, is you can actually dig your own path. Because normally in like a dungeon crawl, here's a map, here's blocking terrain, here's other stuff. There's no real blocking terrain in this game because you can just dig out the wall and make your own path. And that leads to some fun situations. Like I played with my son at home the other day. We were playing campaign, and we had a big bag. We had a bunch of insects swarm up here near us, and we decided to just drill a path around them. And so they kind of followed us down the path until we were able to deal with them later. We kind of funneled them in the pipe. It was really fun to do. So you can do some silly stuff like that. This game gets to the table at my house frequently. Yeah, it's a good one for sure. I'm here to spend my nice Remy. Question. If you like this game so much, why don't you ever mention it or play it on the channel? I feel like it's the first time you've heard of it. I don't play it enough, is what it comes down to it. That's the ultimate thing, Matt. There's a number of games I actually love that I don't play on the channel because I prioritize the channel for anything I'm working with other people, publishers, like previews, for example. Previews always take priority, other things I want to do, just cover that stuff. And then it's just me doing content. So if I'm doing like 2 videos a week, or really 1 video a week for the most part, that when I'm doing a news thing and maybe a preview, there's not much time for other stuff. So, but I will always play this game. I love this one so much. So yeah, Rock and Stone, there you go. Yeah, of course, that is care about employees. That's so unrealistic. It's funny, exactly, Matt. Is the video game version just a more complicated Dig Dug? Raphael, that's a funny concept. Maybe it's if you took Dig Dug and made it into a first-person shooter with alien bugs. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's a stretch, but yeah, it's a fun one. Speaking of which, if you're on our Discord, this is my go-to game to play in the video game, so I'll jump on there, play a quick game, and end it, which is nice. That's why I like my video game, something I can jump in and play and get out. So, oh, DRG Survivor is a fun one too. Yeah, for sure. And beer, yes, there's beer, lots of beer in the game. Okay. But yeah, so you're doing these missions and you're trying to achieve the objective and get out. So now, obviously, if you want to buy this game, you have to get the core box. I will say that the core box is an excellent game in of itself. Like, if that's the only thing you got, I think you'd be very happy with it. My biggest complaint with the core box when I got it is the mission variety. It's got a decent amount of mission variety in there, and you can create procedurally generated games. So, like, there's a book of missions. I can count how many missions are actually at the book in front of me real quick. There's a book of missions, and let me just look in the back, see how many. Oh, not that one. See how many missions are actually in the core box. There are, looks like 14 missions in core box, but you can create your own procedurally generated ones. There's rules how to do that. I've done that. I actually have a video on the channel doing that same very thing, and it works pretty well. So basically, there's like endless scenarios you can play in that, which is really, really nice. But what kind of I enjoy the game, but it eventually got to the point where I didn't want to play it a lot because the mission variety wasn't quite there. So what I mean by mission varieties, that's a big part of this game. There's in the core box you have mining. Mining is very simple. It's you land in your drop pod, you go out and you got to collect so much. It's called Morkite in the game. Morkite, and there's always some secondary thing you have to get to that you have to explore and find. But you get all this Morkite and then come back. And the Morkite's scattered around the cave. So you know where it is, you just have to go get it and bring it back. And meanwhile, all the insects are attacking you. That's the basic way to play the game. Then there's Egg Hunt, where there are eggs hidden around the game. You have to go find them, break them open, and when you break them open, it will cause other grunts to appear and come at you. That's like a step up. And those are fun, but it has extraction, which is kind of the opposite, where in the game there is a miniature called Molly, and Molly is this robotic mule, is what it's called, and it will run around and you can put all your stuff inside of it. But in extraction, it's a different mission type. You have to go to the walls and you have to get what's called a Quark, and pick that up and bring it to its central processing station. You actually have to carry it, and you can only carry one at a time. So that is a little bit different in the sense that, like, you can always just deposit where you are in most of the game, but this one you actually have to make plans to go out, get it, and bring it back in. And so those are the main ones. There's also one mission with a drone retrieval, which is a little bit a change of it. And then there's a elimination game where you have to defeat I'm going to say a mini boss equivalent. It's called a Praetorian. But the elimination, I would call it a pseudo elimination, because later on in the expansion they added an actual elimination mission, which is much, much better. But like, honestly, with those, you'll get a decent amount of, you'll have fun, but it won't be enough, in my opinion, if you want to play it a ton. In my mind, if you like it and want to play it a ton, you must get at least one expansion. So and fall to your death, lots of that. Yeah. Good news is there's no falling in this game, because I'll be dying all the time. I feel like gravity is the #1 enemy in the video game. Luckily, it's not the #1 enemy in the board game, so I would definitely succumb to that quite a bit. And lots of grenades, Greg. Yes, lots of grenades in this one. I will say the cooperation is very, very good. It's a very simple game. It's action based. So like, one action lets you move 3 spaces. One action you spend ammo to shoot stuff. You will have to eventually get enough resources to get more ammo. You have to call down a resupply pod. And everyone's got special abilities and special movement abilities and stuff like that. And then there's different enemies have different resistances. The other thing that's really, really nice about this is the enemies, they don't always activate. So a lot of the time it's just players' turns and you're always engaged. Every once in a while you have what's called a swarm, where basically all the enemies are activated and move around, so that will take a little bit of time, but those are infrequent when they happen. And some event cards will tell you when the enemies activate, so it's really nice that they activate sometimes, but not all the time, and it just makes it a lot of nice variety. There's no one enemy in this game. Yeah. Hey, Casey, poor nice to here. So that's what's in the base game. Like I said, I think it's a very good buy. You'll have a lot of fun with it. Most people, I think, will be very satisfied with it. So that's a good start. Now, we're still in this is the core box. Let's move on to the other stuff. So the other things that were available when this first launched, there was an expansion called let me get notes with this. There's Goo Bombers, but it's the Goo from Above. Yeah, Goo from Above. This is a small box expansion. It's just a little box like this. It adds, well, what you see here, this new enemy type called Goo Bombers, where they drop goo and they kind of slow things down. And then the horde. Oh gosh, what do we call these things? Glyphid Menace, that's right. Glyphid Menace, which they're just very frustrating to deal with in the video game, and they're equally frustrating in the board game, because basically you shoot them and they kind of run away, so you kind of wait for them to come back. It's kind of fun. They do a good job in the video game translating it. So this one, unless you're a diehard fan, is an easy pass. It's fun. I like the variety, but for what they add and what it does to the game, you're not going to miss it, honestly. So if you're a collector, you love the video game, absolutely get this one. But otherwise, I wouldn't worry about this. So that is what was in the first Kickstarter, was the core box and this Goo from Above. Now let's jump to the next Kickstarter and look at those products. So those ones added some interesting things. So let's jump to the Space Rig. So this was the Space Rig expansion. This was one of the big expansions, and yes, all the expansions are very expensive. I will say that. It's not a cheap game, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this discussion, to help you guys figure out what you want to buy. So the Space Rig, it's going to add a couple of things which I really, really like. So it adds 2 new mission types, and honestly, these are probably my favorite missions in the game. So it adds the... I missed my notes here. Here it is. The escort mission. You can see there in the top left the drill dozer miniature, which is really fun. There's a giant drilling machine called Drill Dozer, and it will autonomously start drilling towards the Amaran Heartstone, which you see down there. And once it reaches there, you can push a button, and then it will start drilling to that Heartstone. Takes a while to break it, and all these bad things happen as you're trying to last long enough to break the shell and get what's inside of it. So that's a fun one. I enjoy that quite a bit. And the other one is the on-site refining, which I really like. It has these, let's see, now you can see a picture of them. Well, you see the pipe tokens there, but there are miniatures. I don't see the miniatures on there. You can see them in the small little picture here, but there are these pump jacks that appear, and you have to connect pipes to the pump jack, and you can actually glide along the pipes and everything. And I really like the process of trying to plan out the path and try to be in the right spot to most efficiently construct those pipes. And once you connect all the pipes, you will start push a button and it will start extracting this morkite. And as it extracts, the pipes might break, bad things might happen. Yeah, it's a fun one. I like that one a lot. So the space rig, just based on those two things, is a really nice step up from what the core was. It also adds this space rig board, which allows you to play a campaign. So you can start with, you play basically 4 games of it, and each game will get harder, and you'll get upgrades, and you have these mini goals to do. And so they'll like, hey, by the way, while you play this normal mission, try to harvest all the nitro quickly, for example. Just a brief example. And then based on how well you do, you'll get some upgrades and stuff. So that's a fun way to play. I don't always play that way. It's honestly, I feel like Deep Rock is just a really solid one-off game. But this mode does work well. I like it quite a bit. Are you going to do a campaign on the channel, Matt? I was thinking about it. I actually did, if you are a supporter of the channel, I did a private stream with my son, and that was actually the second game of our mini campaign we did. We didn't do very well at all. It was a pretty bad game, but it was fun anyway. But yeah, you basically play 4 or 5 games, whatever it is, to try to get through the campaign. You're trying to complete 4 missions is what it is, and they get harder, so it's fun. I can definitely do a campaign on the channel. I need to just make time to do that, honestly. So yeah, but that's the whole point. So if you're looking for a campaign, this is the one to get, hands down. There is like a deep dive in the core box. I've played that. It's fine. This is much more satisfying because you get upgrades from upgrades as you go through it. You can get this new upgrade boards on each character, which is fun. It also adds these challenges too. You can see on the screen there's oxygen tanks. So one thing is you have to maintain your oxygen levels. If you push yourself too much, the oxygen goes down, and you have to refill it. Otherwise, you start taking damage. So. Yeah, the game went south pretty fast. It did, for sure. Yeah. I have notes on that a little bit. So there's yeah, there's one enemy type in the game I think is quite balanced, right, as you probably guess. So that is Space Rig. So like I said, if you're getting just one expansion, this is probably the one I'll get. But there's another expansion that came out when the last campaign was launched, and that is the Biome expansion. So this one, if you're looking for more variety, this is definitely the one to get. So this is going to add biomes to the game. So in the core box, and basically we talked about, the cave is just the cave. There's nothing else really to it. It might come to stalagmites. There's not much. But in the actual video game, and now with this, they add whole different environments to go through. So there's a glacial strata, which is ice and snow. So you're sliding across ice, you got snow, you got hypothermia you have to worry about. There's a magma core, we got like these volcanoes and lava to worry about. You have a fungus bog, we've got the basically sticky goo and like this poison smoke you have to deal with, and azure, which is very dark, and I'm trying to think of what it has. It has like some magic pods in it as well. So now you have this whole environment to deal with that can be combined with any of these missions, which is really cool. So like I said, this takes the variety and just ratchets up quite a bit. So if you were going to play this game a lot, I would lean towards this one over Space Rig, because this will give you that variety, and you'll be fine. You'll have plenty to play. Space Rig is good if you like campaigns and you want to play it every once in a while, but this is the one I'd go through otherwise. Plus, it gives you a ton of enemies in this one. And it gives you 2 new mission types as well. So it gives you Elimination, which is just a big boss battle. You go to an egg, you crack it open, there's a big boss that comes out, and you have to destroy it. And that battle is pretty tough. It's a tough one. I lose most of the time on that one. So, and the other one it adds, which I don't like as much, but it's still good, is Salvage Operation, where you have to go around, find these mini mules and kind of put them back together, kind of repair stuff. So that one works fine too. But I still like the other missions in Space Rig more than these two, but the Elimination is quite fun in this one. So the biomes add quite a bit, and you can see the biome segments there, and a bunch of new enemies, which how enemies work in this game, you just shuffle them into the decks, and they can show up in any mission, which is nice. So this just adds more variety to all the missions, all the games you will be playing in the game. But that's Biome. So those are those two. But the other thing that was released last time in the last campaign, we'll get to the new campaign in a second, was some other additional content, which I thought I had pulled up. Let me see now. Oh, you know what? I don't have it pulled. I thought I pulled it up. Okay, we can talk about the bulk detonator. Oh, you know what's down here? I think it's down here. I can activate it. I should find it. Nope, not there. Yeah, down here. Okay. Bulk detonator was one of them. And the Corlock weed. So the bulk detonator is this big guy you can buy. Massive, big miniature. All it is in the box is that miniature and a spawn card, really. Very little in the box. It is the big enemy that is hard to kill, and when you kill him, he has this massive explosion and it hits everything around him. Enemies or dwarves alike. So it is usually a very exciting moment when he pops out. He can pop out in any game. I don't know if I'd recommend this. It's fun. Like, absolutely, collectors, one variety. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy this character quite a bit. But I think I prefer a different small box over this one, is what I would say. This one's my number 2 choice. So it's good. It's fun. I like how it comes out in any mission, but I don't always want to deal with it all the time. And like I said, it can be pretty fun, though, when it pops up. The one I do like quite a bit is the Corlock Tyrant Weed. So this can pop up any mission as well. This is a small box. This one has this cave segment. So the nice thing about it is in this game, there's these cave segments. You ran them up, you lay them down, you don't know where it is. When you get to them, you flip it over. So this can show up in any game, but it won't show up in every game. The bulk detonator has a chance to show up in most games. It has a higher chance of showing up. This one has less of a chance of showing up, but it can still show up. But basically what this does is it's a weed that pops up. And I like this a lot because it feels like we have to work together more than the bulk detonator. And basically there are these healing pods and then these sprouts that show. And basically you have to kill a couple of them. And then after you do that, you can attack the heart. And when the heart dies, the middle piece, basically the crystals fall to the ground and you can get some nice upgrades. But you can only do that when 2 of these things are destroyed, and otherwise it'll regrow itself. And so you're constantly working together, trying to work together to fight this thing down. I like it a lot. It adds more of a challenge, I'd say. But for a small box expansion, this is the one I would go through first. So that is what was in the previous campaign. Those things. So let's see. So if you got Biome, you can start using with the base game mission to enhance them. Yes, you can. You can exactly. Yeah, Greg got you covered. Perfect. Yeah, you can just mix them right in. So now technically, if you are a purist and you don't want to because technically what you do just put down those tiles and just put them pieces on and start playing. It's no big deal to do that. But if you want to have a mission tell you exactly where to put stuff, obviously the base game missions don't necessarily have that, but of course all these have their own missions. In fact, I can tell you how many missions are each of these. The Biome, because I have all the books in front of me, it looks like it has 18 missions in the Biome, and the Space Rig has looks like it has 12 missions in it. So more missions in the Biome, but the Space Rig has the campaign, so they're pretty close to about even, honestly. Depends on what you're looking for. Now, there is another bit of content. It is this thing here. The Space Rig and Biome Expansion combined mission book. So the nice thing about this one is it has more missions. It has looks like 8 more missions, and these combine the biomes with the new mission types in Space Rig and the other way around. So the nice thing is like they're mix and match everything. I actually do recommend getting that book. That's a really nice book to get. It's not a whole lot more, but the variety is great to have. So that's an additional add-on. I don't think it's much. Let's see if it's even listed down here. I think I saw it. Upgrade kit. I think I saw it someplace. It might be on one of these other pages. But yeah, So I know they're selling it in the Kickstarter, so you can get that there. But the combined mission book is a recommend. But only get that if you have both the space rig and the biome expansions. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth much to you. Okay, so that's all that stuff. Let's look at the new stuff. Like I said, I've not played this, but let's kind of dive into it and kind of help break down my thoughts on what might be good to get in this or not. Hey, Compy. Game keeps calling my name. KDM isn't for me with the grotesque nature of the art not being kid-friendly. This would be so much fun. Yeah, this is pretty kid-friendly. The monsters, the insects, they do have, like, gnarly teeth and claws and, like, the jaws open up like this, but it's insect stuff, so I think you're probably okay for most kids, honestly. They're not, like, nice looking at bugs, but they're not supposed to be either, so... Oh yeah, there's an app too. Good call, Greg. Yeah. So yeah, someone, I don't know who created it, but I mentioned the procedurally generated missions. Someone has taken that AI and created an app that creates procedurally generated missions for you automatically. It's pretty nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, definitely recommend doing that. So that's why I like this game so much. There's just so much replayability in it. I can always play something new if I want to. Not a big deal. Okay, but let's look at the new campaign stuff. So like I said, I haven't played any of this stuff. It's adding 2 new big box expansions plus a small box expansion. So it's adding the Rival Incursion and the Horror of Hoxes. And it's adding some new stuff too. So exclusives, let's stop here for a second. The exclusives, Betsy, I was really excited to see. So I love Betsy in the video game. So Betsy is this robot, maybe like an abandoned robot out there, and it's been infected with this biological computer virus thing. Don't know. Don't ask too many questions. But basically, it's turned on the dwarves, and when you get near it, it'll wake itself up and start attacking you, and it has all these bad attacks. But if you can destroy the virus attachments on it, it then kind of falls down, and then in the video game, you can go up there and you can basically hack it or repair it, and then it'll now, for the rest of the mission, run around with you and fight for you. Love that. Don't know if that's what's going to happen here, but I'll be shocked if it doesn't. So it looks like this is going to be one of those random cave segments you can grab. So if you happen to come across it, you probably have to fight it, and then I'm guessing it joins your team, which I think sounds awesome. Very much looking forward to that. It's a exclusive. The other one up there is the glittery cave walls. This is a complete guess, but in the video game, you can actually mine into the cave walls and you can find special gems in there. One of them is called Jade, and Jade is here. So you can get that plus other random things as you mine. One nice thing is I do run out of those cave walls quite a bit because I mine a lot in some of the games. So it's nice to have more just for that reason. But having more variety in that, I'm very excited to see that. I don't know what it does though. So it looks like you can have some random upgrades, some enemies. One of them is a spawn point, which is not cool. Not cool as in like, oh no, it's make it harder, but it's okay. And the Jade, which we just don't know what it does. So that's some of the exclusive stuff. But and then there's the mini game kicking a barrel into the box. That is a mini game you can do in the space rig. This is a fun thing here. I don't think anyone's really. It's cool at doing it, but not particularly excited, to be honest. So like, okay, fine. So, but anyway, let's get to Horror Epoxies. So, if you got the Biome expansion, I would get this next. Because this complements the Biome expansion quite a bit. Because, as you see here, it's going to add 4 new biomes in there. So, it's going to add Hollow Bow. I cannot pronounce it sometimes, which is a new environment with these spiky plants and vines. Don't know what it does, but it's normally difficult to navigate. Crystalline Caverns, which is like your most basic type cave. Normally has these glowing crystals, which can help. Usually they have electricity shocking between them. I don't know if that's going to happen in this game, but maybe it does. Sandblasted Corridors, which is going to be a sand where you have, if you watch all these jets of vents that will move you and launch you across the board. So that's in the game, what's going to make things interesting to navigate. And that's Biome, which is kind of like a jungle environment. So you got spawny plants that you have to deal with as you run around the board there. So like I said, the biomes add the more variety. So now we get not only the previous one, you got 4, now I get another 4. So you're going to double that variety. Pretty big expansion for that one. In addition to that, the previous biome expansion had 1 dreadnought in it, just like your normal dreadnought. There's adding the dreadnought twins. So now when you go fight a boss battle, you can have either 1 big guy or 2 brother-sister things popping out, and they're going to play differently. So add even more variety to that elimination mission, which is pretty cool. Excited for that. And it's going to add a whole slew of enemies, just like the biome expansion. So like I said, biome is variety. If you're looking for, want that variety, you want to play this game a lot and not get bored of it, get those 2. This one and the first biome expansion, and then this Horde of Hoxies have plenty. More enemy types, a ton of that going. And the cool thing is, this pod spawner you see here in the mist sprayer, not in the video game. It looks cool. It'll be interesting to play. And of course, you get the environment tokens to deal with. And that was in the previous biome expansion, didn't call out either, but a lot of ways to interact with that environment. Safe assumption that you don't need to be familiar with the video game to enjoy the board game. Copy, I would say that yes, because I'm guessing you weren't here for my beginning of this, but that's how I got exposed to this game. I was aware of the video game, but I didn't play it at all, didn't know anything. Honest, I'm not a huge video game player in the sense that, like, I enjoy video games, but most of my video game time goes to work on the channel. I find a lot of enjoyment out of that. That's normally where my energy goes. So I normally want like a video game that can just like play a little bit and then move on, because I got channel stuff I want to work on. So, but for me specifically, I played the board game before I played or really knew anything about the video game, and I love the board game. I absolutely loved it. So based on my personal experiences, absolutely, you can play, have fun on the board game, and not know anything about the video game. If you know the video game, it makes more sense, but it's and I would say that's true from others I've played with as well who don't know the video game, they still have enjoyed the board game. So I think it's a very safe bet. It's just a really solid design. Okay, so yeah, lots of stuff in this one. Lots of new creatures, mission cards for the space rig, and I mentioned earlier, lots of enemies, so variety there. The next expansion they have is the rival incursion, which is a whole new mission type. So if you got the space rig, I would lean towards this one next. So it's kind of weird that, like, if you're just getting a couple of expansions, I would almost flip these. Do the space rig, rival incursion, my guess, like I said, I haven't played this, or do the biome and the hordes of Hoxies, because I feel like those two sets seem to be designed to pair well with each other. So this one is going to add a new mission where you have, it's called Industrial Sabotage, where you have to take down the caretaker. You see him on the screen here? A big floating obelisk, I guess you call him, robot. And it's a big boss battle. Basically, you have to go find these power stations, shut them down, because the power stations are powering this force field, and then go fight this big boss. And he's got a data rack inside of him. Gotta get that, because this caretaker is actually technology from a rival mining company. Don't know who they are, don't know where they're from, but they're on your turf. You gotta kick them off. So that's really cool. You're gonna have new upgrades, which don't know much about them, but that's exciting to see. And you fight the caretaker and some new enemies, robot based, which is cool. That's also in the video game. This power station talked about earlier. This one I'll pause at, the Nemesis. This one is a pain in the butt in the video game. This guy is. He tries to trick you where he's like, hey, come help me, I'm a dwarf. And you hear this voice and you think it's a dwarf, and it's not a dwarf. It's a robot trying to trick you to come to him so he can, like, take you out. So that's pausing here because I expect this is going to be one of those enemies that can appear at any time in the game. It's probably going to be a swarm card, I'm guessing. That's going to appear. I'm not really sure how they're going to show up in the game, but that's my guess. So cool. If you want a little more variety, there's one the way there. But of course, you got the caretaker pyramid and all the stuff we talked about earlier. Also adds these different segment types as well. So, which is nice. Oh, actually, one thing I didn't mention. The other thing I like quite a bit, speaking of segment types, in the space rig, it adds these hidden cave tiles. So adds more goodies you can harvest to get stuff. I like that quite a bit. So like I said, that's why the space rig is still the number one I would go for, but it really depends what you're looking for. And then the last thing they add is this shockworm, which is not in the video game at all. Know nothing about this. It looks like it's just this mini boss we have to deal with. Not sure how he shows up or we have to deal with him. So not much information on that. But looks cool. Looks interesting. Obviously I'm gonna get it because I have to get it all. But that would be another one that would probably easily guess. I'm guessing it's gonna be like the bulk detonator and the Corlock tyrant weed. Those sets. Oh, and the goo from above as well. But if I talk about small box expansions, I would do Corlock tyrant weed, bulk detonator, and goo from above in that order. The first one being the Corlock tyrant weed. I don't know how this is going to fit in the formula. So, but it's going to be in a similar sense. Oh yeah, and then if you break back this, you get this statue. There's no function for this statue, just FYI. No game function. It's just cool. So there you go. Premium dice sets, stuff like that. Oh, let's talk about the game mat. I am a sucker for game mats, but I will actually recommend the game mat for this game. I say that specifically because the mat or the board that comes with this game, it's your normal board, good quality, all that stuff. Actually, this game is really high quality in general. Let's put that out there right now. But how the game works is you're putting down these tiles on the board, and you've got a smooth game board surface with these smooth tiles, and there's a opportunity things can get bumped. Not a huge deal, it happens, but yeah, things can move around a little bit. And that's why I recommend the game mat, because the game mat has that more grippy texture. Not a lot, but a little bit more. And I feel like it kind of keeps those tiles a little more secure as you play in the game. Very, very minor point, but it does provide, in my opinion, a little more value to the game mat for this game versus game mats for other games. It'd be great if they added more treasures like a supply pod that ends up being a nemesis like a mimic. That would be cool, Greg. That would be cool. Cool and horrible at the same time. So, like, no! Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because they are not following the video game super closely. They are doing a good job translating the video game into the board game space, in my opinion, and making it so that the board game is still a really good experience. There are some video game things that would not be fun in a board game, and they've been really good at avoiding that. But so there's that element, but they've also been adding things in the board game, like enemies that just aren't in the video game, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really happy to see Mood like extend the environment a little bit more from that. So, but yeah, that is the content for Deep Rock Galactic. It's a lot of content. It's a big game. It takes up multiple collections on my shelf to give you an idea of how big this is. A lot. Oh, the other thing she probably mentioned is there is dice set that you can get. I'm a sucker for extra dice. You don't need it here, but I always get extra dice to hand them out and roll around. That's an easy one for me. STLs. Very few companies do this. Mood does this, but you can actually pay like a small fee. And it's actually included in some of the pledges where they will give you STL files so you can print the miniatures yourself, which is really, really, really cool. In case you wanted more big bosses for an extra hard game or something, yeah, you can do it. It's absolutely unnecessary. You don't need it, but it's cool that they provide that. Acrylic tokens. I have the acrylic tokens. I'm happy with them. They are pretty sharp, though. Say that they are. They've got one side that has it heat treated on it, and the other side is like mostly clear, I'd say. They look great, but they are sharp, I'd say. There's other acrylics I've dealt with that are more of a plastic. This feels more like I'm gonna use the word glass. It's not glass, it's still plastic, but it's more of that type of nature. So I am happy with them, but it's also not something I would necessarily recommend, especially if you're playing with kids. Like, I can see the sharp parts, and it's a little pokey at times, but yeah. Where's the campaign for the second house to store the game? Yeah, okay, we definitely need that. Yeah, I wanted to create a storage solution for this one, because it definitely needs it. Especially since, like, when you play the game, most enemies can pop out bits anytime. So it needs a good storage solution, but when I heard this campaign coming out, I was like, oh, well, I'll wait to deal with that storage solution later. It still is fun to play, but the storage solution for the game would be awesome. Yeah, good call, Greg. Etsy has a storage solution, everything in the core box minus the current expansion. I looked at that. It looks really nice, but it's already out of date with this. So, but yeah, that looks like a really nice solution. Because the main thing in this one, you need to access the miniatures decently well. It's the storage in this one is good too. It's in the game itself. It's just that there's a lot of it if you get everything. That's where it's like it's almost better with just the core box because it is actually quick and easy to table. The miniatures are fantastic quality, excellent quality. Painters will love this. The other thing is the number of miniatures. There's a lot of grunts, which they're grunts, there need to be a lot of them. But there's not a lot of enemy miniatures, but there's a big variety of them. You know what I'm trying to say? So sometimes I feel like you get like 5 or 10 of one miniature type, which is fine with those games. But this one, it's like, hey, you get like 2 or 3. But you get a wider variety of them, which I really enjoy quite a bit. This is one that I definitely want painted at some point. The miniatures are beautiful and there's a lot of gray, so it'd be nice to have that painted. But I am not a painter, so I need to figure out how to paint or find a service to help me paint it. So one of the two. But yes, so that is hopefully it's helpful. Like I would lean. So the summary of what we covered here. If you're going in. Obviously, the core set is the one to get. I think you'll be happy for most of it, especially if this is a game you're going to play sometimes. If you want the variety, just pure variety, go Biome and potentially Horror of Hoxies. You'll get a ton of variety with just those two. Honestly, you probably set there. If you want, that's variety of the core experience. If like variety within the game. If you want more variety of which missions you play, I would go for the space rig because you got the campaign and some of my favorite missions in the game, and then potentially go after the rival incursion for the robots. It's gonna have quite a bit of mission variety in those things. In fact, if you did that, you would have all but I believe Biomes has 2 mission types. Yes, all but 2 mission types in Biomes you would have, which is pretty cool. And actually, the 2 mission types in Biomes, you get salvage operation, which it's fine, and elimination, which is boss battle. But if you had the rival incursion, the industrial sabotage with the caretaker is basically a giant boss battle anyway. So it's going to feel like elimination in that sense. But yeah, so that's my recommendation on that stuff. I'm getting all of it. I'm really excited for this one. I'm all in this game. Whenever it comes out, I'm in. So, but yeah, we'll be covering on the channel whenever this does deliver. And sounds like I need to bring this to the channel more often because people are asking for it. So I should try to figure that out. So yeah, I'm not a painter yet. There you go, Chris. There you go. So, okay. But that, my friends, is hopefully helpful to navigate the Deep Rock Galactic content out there. Like I said, I have not played the new stuff. That's my guess on what I would do if I was going to buy the new stuff, new expansions. I would give, at this point, I would give a slight edge to the Horror of Hoxies expansion over the Rival Incursion. If I had all the previous stuff and just wanted like one new thing, I would do that. I would do the Worm as the last one because that's knowing the small box expansions. They're fun, but they're they're just more. So. Okay, I think that's it. If you like this type of content, let me know in the comments below. My plan is to do a few more of these for the games that I can cover. That I have some information on majority of the content. Because if I'm trying to figure out what to buy, might as well share with you guys. And if you have any recommendations on this type of format, you want to see something different, let me know. Like I said, I'm trying to provide some different types of formats on this channel. I'm always looking for feedback, so any feedback is welcome. How did Chad get people spamming Rocket Stone? Good question, Greg. I don't know. That's a good one. No. So I hate Casey Porter. So yep. But we're gonna end it for today. We are looking at doing a co-op chat this weekend. So that'll be, I know Derek's available and I. So I'm trying to wait confirmation for Barrett, but it'll probably be the 3 of us. And but that'll be Saturday morning, Eastern time frame. But watch the channel. I will be posting that probably tomorrow if I get confirmation on that. But we'll do a Saturday morning chat because it's been a while since we had one. I apologize to that. I've been really, really busy with actual work stuff. So, And yeah, that's all we'll have for this week. Next week, I'm planning on doing a live stream with the designer of Red Tides, the pirate. No, sorry, not Red Tides. Sorry. The live stream of Echoes of the Sundering with that designer. And next week, I will also be doing a Gen Con episode, because Gen Con's coming up real soon. So I will be sharing things to look out at Gen Con, like, hey, here's some games that caught my attention. What we will be doing, because both Kim and I will be at Gen Con. So if you do happen to see us there, just stop by, say hi. And we will be doing also a Saturday game day. So Saturday, we like to sequester on a table, just play games all day. People can come and go as they please, hang out with us, say hi, whatever you want. Just love to meet new people. But that'll be next week in Gen Con video, because the week after that, we'll be heading to Gen Con, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, are you sure they're going to sell the Hush box at Gen Con? I am not sure, Casey Porter. I've been told that it's being there, but I have not seen confirmation of that, so I'm not sure. At this point, I'm a little surprised we haven't heard anything, so I'm a little worried that it's just not happening, which is okay. That's fine. But if it is there, I'll be in line to get that. If it's not there, I will probably avoid the line. So, because I've done that multiple times, and it's good to experience once, but I don't want to experience it more than once. So, yeah, co-op chat, exactly, Dan. So that'll be coming up. Yeah, it worked. It's okay. It's a big project to deliver at work, but it's winding down and it's fun, and it's be nice to move on to other stuff. They usually say at SDCC. That's true, Chris. San Diego Comic-Con is what that stands for, and they haven't announced that yet. I'm going off of what Derek has said. He said the Hush boxes will be there. Derek tends to be pretty on the up and up when it comes to United stuff, but I have not seen confirmation of that. And if it doesn't happen, that, like I said, it's okay. I'm still pending research on what games to cover for Gen Con, but I'm gonna get that prepped for next week sometime. So just be on the lookout for that chat. Okay, long discussion. Thanks, guys, for sticking around, and thanks for joining us at the Co-op Guild. If you like this type of content, biggest thing to support us is likes and subscribe to help us the most. If you want to go beyond that, we do have a Ko-Fi and Patreon. You can support us there as well. And if you just want to hang out with other like-minded cooperative fans, we do have a Discord. It's free to join. Just come in here, chat, say hi. And of course, like I said, leave any questions or comments in the YouTube section. I'll do my best to answer them. Okay. Oh, Slam Thumb. That's right, Chris. I forgot about that one. Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next... Oh, my gosh. Sorry about that. We'll see you next time at the guild. Bye-bye.